Moving up, Iowa women's basketball moves on to the Elite Eight with a nostalgic rematch.
Results are in. University student government sees a record voter turnout. Celebrating and remembering, community members celebrate Trans Day of Visibility.
The rain is on the way. First glimpse of April showers. I'll have more in weather later.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Monday, April 1st. I'm Grace Lathrop.
And I'm Brady Barron.
And the third member of our team's DITV, Sarah Adams, is live now to tell us today's weather story.
It seems like the weather's playing an April Fool's trick on us today. Is it going to rain or not, Sarah?
Yeah, guys, I'm not quite sure if it's going to rain today, but it seems like the Easter Bunny should have brought showers with him. I'm live at the indoor track facility where it's currently 43 degrees. As the day continues, it is expected to rain with a high of 50 and a low of 38. While Tuesday will have some morning showers with some sun in the afternoon. Tuesday's expecting a high of 51 and a low of 34. I'll be back with the forecast for the rest of the week later.
Thanks, Sarah. And we're going to send it to Albany, New York, where DITV Sports Director Michael Merrick is at the NCAA tournament.
And Michael was able to talk with players and coaches about the much anticipated upcoming national championship rematch.
When brackets were first released, everyone had their eye on one potential matchup. It would be a national championship rematch, only this time taking place in the Elite Eight. And with both teams winning their Sweet 16 matchups, Iowa and LSU now prepare for what could be women's basketball's most anticipated game in history.
I'm really excited. I think it's great for women's sports. Obviously, this game's probably going to get a lot of views, probably even more than it did last year, but I'm really excited that both of our programs get to play against each other again because it's just going to be a great game.
I think women's basketball has exploded, and it's because of the good play. I just think people realize now how great our game is. And I think we were playing really good basketball and it was hidden before. It was like a hidden gem and now people know about it.
Last year's national championship drew over 10 million viewers. And tomorrow's rematch has a chance to break that. And this is clear that the matchup between Iowa and LSU is a beacon shining a bright light on the growth and the importance of women's basketball.
Yeah, I mean, last year we had 12 million people watching this, and I'm sure we're going to have high numbers again for this game tomorrow night. But I think it's because you got two of the big, the brightest stars in the game competing against each other.
I think women's basketball fans know how special and cool this moment will be. I think the viewership numbers will show that, but everybody's fighting to be able to play one more game, come back to practice with one another, and I think more than anything, it's just great for our game, and I'm lucky to be a part of it.
Tomorrow's Elite Eight game has a chance to go down in the history books, and it will definitely continue the dialogue surrounding women's athletics. But the thing that both of these teams have in the front of their mind is how they're going to be able to punch their ticket to the Final Four once again and have another chance to raise an NCAA trophy. From the NCAA tournament in Albany, New York, Michael Merrick, DITV Sports.
And university student government announced election results on Friday. This year saw record-breaking voting participation with over 2,000 votes cast. Addison Eckert and Brenda Ramirez won the executive ticket with 53.6% of the vote. Eckert and Ramirez, better known as A and B, are the first women executive ticket to win since 2019.
I felt so excited and just overwhelmed and so grateful for all the amazing support we've had this entire time. I'm so excited.
And then start engaging with student orgs on campus. That was our biggest priority in our platform, and so getting to actually start those conversations, I'm really excited for.
USG President and Vice President are absent after
A&B ran their campaign on Engage, Innovate, and Sustain. They will be inaugurated on April 27th, where they will take over for current president and vice president. A day for celebration and remembrance, Iowa City community members came together to celebrate International Transgender Day of Visibility. DITV's Assistant News Director Johnny Valtman has how the community celebrated.
After a week of festivities to raise awareness and advocate for trans rights, Sunday marked a rally and celebration to honor International Transgender Day of Visibility.
The opportunity for people to participate at different times and in different spaces and in different small groups just creates more opportunities for people to bump into each other, to make those connections and to build a community.
And even though there were some issues like some scattered rain and sound issues, supporters still came out on Easter Sunday to advocate for the trans community.
Our primary goal, which we will not compromise on, is non-enforcement of current and future anti-trans legislation in Johnson County.
Speakers took the microphone and continued to encourage attendees to keep battling anti-trans legislation in Iowa.
Any person who cares, any person who can, needs to do everything in their power to fight.
Other speakers were able to share their own personal experiences and how they've received support from the transgender community.
Saying that I don't know that I can do this much longer. I've had a dozen people say, "Where are you? Let me come help you." And now I get to do that for others.
The event welcomed groups highlighting other issues within the community, such as abortion.
Reproductive freedom and trans rights are both issues of bodily autonomy, and they need to keep their laws off of our bodies.
Members of the transgender community and their supporters are planning on attending Tuesday's City Council meeting, demanding sanctuary city legislation to protect trans individuals. From College Green Park, Johnny Valtman, DITV.
Advocacy for trans Iowans, the Johnson County Board of Supervisors approved the creation of a task force to support the transgender community last week. V. Fixmer-Orez and Rod Sullivan are the first members under the board, and they will provide actionable solutions to the Board of Supervisors on June 1st, the start of Pride Month. Fixmer-Orez has listed goals and topics that the advisory board can look at, including policies and to have people addressed by their preferred names, ensuring Johnson County is a safe space for gender-expansive people, and increased resources for gender-inclusive housing. And new repairs are coming to the Pentacrest. The University of Iowa is fixing the old Capitol building's dome. The gold dome was damaged in 2022 due to winds and a storm and received temporary repair. The repairs will cost an estimated $148,000. The current project will permanently repair the damage. Trouble may be on the horizon for the House of Representatives. We have DITV's Jace Bertrand live in the newsroom to tell us what's going on in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, thanks, Grace. And the Senate managed to avoid a government shutdown by passing a long-awaited spending bill, but that may cause some problems for Republicans. After Speaker of the House Mike Johnson broke rank and allied with Democrats to pass the spending bill through the House, Republican lawmaker Marjorie Taylor Greene filed a motion to oust Johnson from his position. Former Speaker Kevin McCarthy found himself in a similar situation last October after he worked with Democrats to pass a bill. Many Republicans were opposed to this most recent spending bill for the significant funding it would give to Ukraine, which is currently struggling in its war against Russia. And while all Democrats voted with 8 Republicans to oust McCarthy, there's no indication yet as to whether or not this resolution will be the end of Johnson's position. Back to you, Grace.
Thanks, Jace. And Brady, what do you think the upcoming week for weather is going to look like in Iowa City?
Yeah, that's a good question, Grace. Let's send it back out to DITV's Sarah Adams for the forecast for the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. While it is supposed to rain, the week ahead should be clearing up. Thursday and Friday will be pretty similar with mostly sunny skies and highs peaking at 52 and lows dropping to 31. But over the weekend, temps should be going back up. Saturday will see a high of 59 and have some partly cloudy skies, while Sunday will hit the 60s, but we are expected to have rain for most of the day. I'm looking forward to the warming temps in the sun. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. And Brady, Iowa sports have really been in the limelight across the nation this past week.
Yeah, that's right, Grace. The Iowa women's basketball team in particular has gotten a lot of attention both here and nationally. The Iowa Hawkeye team had another rematch earlier in the tournament as they took on the Colorado Buffaloes in the Sweet 16. We're going to go back out to Albany with Michael Merrick, who was at that tournament matchup.
In a rematch of last year's Sweet 16, Iowa would dominate Colorado from the jump, winning this one 89-68. And while Caitlin Clark would put up Caitlin Clark-esque numbers, finishing with 29 points and tying a season-high 15 assists, it would be the rest of the Hawkeyes that got Iowa past the finish line, as the Hawks would finish with all 5 starters in double figures.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we won every single game when we play basketball like that. I think that just speaks to, the way we were able to put together a complete game tonight. I thought our defense was great. I thought our transition offense was great. I thought, our half-court offense was really good. And when we're able to dominate all areas of the game, we're really successful. And
when we have 5 people in double figures, we are so hard to guard. When we pass the ball like that, knocking down those shots, there's so much focus on Caitlin that it does open up things for people, and we need to take advantage of that when it happens.
And with LSU squeaking out a win against UCLA earlier in the day, all eyes are now going to be on the national championship rematch taking place in the Elite Eight.
It's going to be tough, but it's what everybody's wanted, right, since last year. I mean, you probably polled anybody in women's basketball. Let's see that rematch again. And you got to beat everybody to get what you want. If someone asked me, they're like, hey, what do you think about LSU? I'm like, it's going to be a great game, I hope. Hope it's going to be more competitive than it was the last time, right?
With starter Molly Davis going down with an injury in Iowa's regular season finale, many wondered who would fill her role. This caused Hawkeye forward Sydney Fulter to step in, and she has shined bright the entire way since. Since entering the starting lineup, Fulter has been averaging 13 points and has added nearly 8 rebounds a game. But if you ask anyone a part of the Iowa team, they'll tell you that they knew Sydney was going to be great from the second she stepped on campus.
Sid's my girl. I mean, I love Sid. She's one of those players. She's going to get, roughed up. She's going to die for loose balls. She's going to bang her head on the floor, but it doesn't matter. She's going down the next possession, and she's going to work her butt off.
I've known ever since Sydney stepped on campus as well that she was a great player. We go against each other every single day, and the kid's a stud. I mean, she's super hard-nosed. She's a great hard worker, and I love her to death. She's a great teammate, and so I'm really proud of her that she's getting, some recognition, and she's showing the world who she is.
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting just to be able to execute the way I am for this team and this program. And, I can't do it without my teammates. Caitlin throws some amazing passes to me in transition. I'm not getting that bucket without that pass from her.
She knew her time would come, and I'm just so proud of her. From the Big Ten tournament really to this point, she's been one of our best players, and it's just been so fun to see because she deserves it more than anybody because that girl just works so hard. She's in the gym just as much as anybody, and, she always has a smile on her face and brings that X-Factor mentality we really need.
And if the Hawkeyes want to avenge last year's loss, they're going to need the X-Factor, Sydney Fulter, to continue impacting the game. From Albany, New York, Michael Merrick, DITV Sports.
The Iowa baseball and softball teams hosted Big Ten foes this weekend. DITV's AJ Reister is live at Duane Banks Field. AJ, how did the two teams fare?
Well, Brady, both teams got their series wins over their respective opponents. The baseball team hosted the Minnesota Golden Gophers here over the weekend, but the weekend started off a little slow, falling to Minnesota 16-9 on Friday. After leading by 7 at one point in the game, they did come back with big wins on Saturday and Sunday behind some timely hitting and solid pitching. However, first baseman Andy Nelson did leave the game on Saturday with a hamstring strain and did not play in the series finale on Sunday. No word yet on his availability for this week. Over at Bob Pearl Field, the Hawkeye softball team defeated the Spartans on Friday behind a no-hitter from Jalen Adams, the 19th in program history. Michigan State bounced back in Game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday with a win, but Iowa won the rubber match in Game 2 in walk-off fashion. The baseball team will be back in action tomorrow when they head to Peoria for their midweek game with Bradley, while the softball team will host Drake in a doubleheader tomorrow. Back to you guys in the studio.
Women's track and field runner Ali Buchanan-Nasbish got over the finish line and broke the outdoor 800-meter record on Saturday in the Florida Relays after she moved up to second on the Iowa all-time list last year. This is her only outdoor record at Iowa, but she has 2 indoor records, one in the 800-meter race and the other in the distance medley relay.
Thanks, Brady. Lots going on in Hawkeye sports this week, and I look forward to watching that game tonight.
For sure, Grace. A lot of things picking up steam.
Thank you so much for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We're here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For Sarah Adams and Brady Barron, I'm Grace Lathrop, and see you again on Wednesday morning right here on DITV.